Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Just sitting in my backyard, listening to the birds, enjoying the good weather, contemplating the many favors that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed to me in my life. And I started to think about one thing in particular. Many years ago, when my children were very, very young, I took my daughter and my two sons to the local masjid, not here, but in another state. And I had told my children, who are, by the way, very well behaved, they never had any problems, never said a word, never ran around, even one time in the masjid, because I had taught them the proper etiquette when being inside of the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so I told my children, my daughter Ahlam, my son Salahuddin, and my other son Khattab, to go into the masjid and sit down politely and not make a sound until I made wudu and came back. So I just finished my wudu, and my daughter runs out of the masjid screaming and crying. I dried off my face and my hands, and I was just like, what happened? What happened? Before I continue the story, it is of the utmost importance for every single Muslim that says La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah and believes in the last day to really pay attention to what I'm about to say, because it is very, very important. And before that, I have to say that my kids are biracial. They are black and they are white. And so my daughter began to scream and cry, and I held her in my arms and I said, "Sweetheart, what's wrong?" And you'll never believe what was told to her inside of the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My little girl, who was not more than 6 years old, cried to me and said, Daddy, they call us kaffirs, and they told us to get out of the masjid." The first thing that I asked her is, "Who called you a kafir? Who?" She said, "It's the imam. It's the one that teaches the Quran." I didn't need to hear anything more. I grabbed the hand of my daughter and I marched him inside of the masjid. I went up to this Quran teacher and I grabbed him by his shirt and I put him up against the wall. And I asked him, "Did you really call my children kuffar and you told them to get out of the masjid?" His eyes were just like, "I didn't know it was you, Sheikh Ali. I didn't know that these were your kids. I had no idea." All of his students were just like, and I can think of no other reason besides my kids being biracial and not looking like the rest of the students in the class. My daughter was not wearing a hijab. Well, she doesn't have to. She was 6 years old. And let's just say, for argument's sake, that the non-Muslim neighborhood kids went inside of the masjid and they wanted to see what's going on. And this is the way that you treat them? I asked my children later, "What did you do when you went inside of the masjid?" They said, "Exactly like we always do. We went to the corner of the mosque and we all sat together in a straight line and we didn't say a word, Dad." So why were my children told to get out of the mosque, you kaffirs? The whole moral of this unfortunately true story is never judge a book by its cover. You are the reason why people can despise Islam and Muslims, or be very curious about Islam and have a very good positive outlook about what Muslims are. And needless to say, alhamdulillah, that I did not go to jail, but I definitely made my point with this so-called Quran teacher. We are the sons of Adam alayhi salam. We are black, we are white, we are Asian, we are African, and we are all the sons of Adam. La ilaha illallah cannot be seen in the hearts of any of the sons of Adam. But La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah can indeed be seen with your mannerisms and akhlaq. Let's always remember that the next time that we go to any of the masajid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the houses of sajada, of prostration, and you do not own them. Let's do better and let's make a difference today.